Hey everyone, it's Brenda back again with another episode of Three Uniques. Really excited to introduce you to Michael Tranmer. Hi, Michael.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
So far, so amazing.
Okay, good. So everyone knows Michael is an author, he's an engineer, and he's a speaker out of Vancouver, Canada. So Michael, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Woo! Depends on the day, right?
Yeah.
These days, it's been such a journey into 2020. We're recording this, but more about myself in a nutshell. I'm from back east, Kingston, Ontario. Been out in BC almost 20 years now, so longer than I was in Ontario. Have the engineering background, University of Victoria. Been working in Vancouver about 14 years or so now, but I've also over the last 3 years gotten into this whole other galaxy of personal development and
Mhm.
writing and public speaking and coaching. So it's been it's I seem to be using the word journey a lot, as does everyone else, but it really has been, especially over the last 3 years.
And so you've written a book. It's called Satori Ananda.
Yeah, Satori Ananda, Awaken to Happiness, and it's really about what this transition has been over the last 3 years. And it started 3 years ago when the path I was on, the comfortable direction with the job and the condo and the wife, lost that third pillar when that relationship came to a sudden end, and that was extremely hard for her, extremely hard for me, but it was, as an engineer, I'd like to have things planned out and organized to know where I'm going. And so when that all of a sudden fell away, it was the complete loss of self and loss of identity, and it was hard. It was extremely hard, and it was a full range of emotions and pain that I had never felt before in my life. And that really cracked open this eventually, and not in a beautiful and graceful way, but it really cracked open this whole other side of me that had been dormant all those years.
Right. And so it inspired you to write a book.
A couple of steps in between there, but it
Okay.
was it was, yeah, I mean, that was November 3 years ago, and it was a really hard winter, just working towards understanding that heartbreak. And it was a lot of self reflection, and that can be very hard when you have to own some parts of your personality from the past that perhaps contributed to the way things were or the way things evolved. But it was just months and months of self-reflection, but also a ton of growth in there as well, and a lot of books, a lot of podcasts, and eventually working with a coach. But it was the transformation to really own those parts of me that I wanted to work on, but also brush off and uncover these other skills that I had, like writing and
Mhm.
public speaking and sharing all these things that I was learning. Eventually put the dots together to write a book.
Awesome. And so for our viewers, if they were to pick up your book, which we're excited, we've got a little giveaway detail that we'll share at the end of our interview today. But if they were to pick up your book, what would be, one or two things that they would take away and that would help them in their life if they were going through a similar journey or wanting to discover something?
Yeah, it's not just for people going through a breakup. It's really because what it was a complete life altering event, or entering the unknown. So here in 2020, there's a lot of people going through that with loss of jobs, or just everyone's had some aspect of their life shaken up and change. So by picking up this book, you would feel comfort that someone else has gone through some sort of large change, and I survive out the end, so that
Right.
I can I
You're
can
here.
give that part away. But
Yeah.
they would just have comfort in knowing that they would know that they're not alone in feeling the pain, because it's I don't hold anything back in the book. It's very raw, it's very vulnerable, and it's really deep and sensual storytelling about walking through the dark streets of Vancouver, crying my eyes out, trying to figure out what happened. So for people that are going through transitions in their life, they would get that sense of having someone with them, but they would also see the steps that I took to move forward.
Right. Well, it's awesome that you disclose that part of you, and then also just the journey, the transformation that you've talked about, like to this new self that you're in, and fully expressed. I guess that would be the best way to say it.
Yeah, working towards, and that's some of the fun work I'm getting into now with engineers, the engineering world
Mhm.
that I exist in, because we have such powerful one side of our brain, but to open up
Right.
the creative side and be able to connect with other humans and clients and coworkers and express our thoughts and ideas and our visions, that
Mhm.
becomes a really powerful combination to unlock that full expression. Because it's, if we're not fully expressing ourselves, we're not going to live our potential. We're not going to reach the goals and dreams that we have. But there's also an element of stress if you know there's something else within you, and
Mhm.
which was always the challenge that I had. I always thought that I was supposed to be big or something, this or that, but it was always from a sense of ego, like I should be better than, or why am I not getting this? But now it's been a complete flip where I can see that I can serve and help other people and help them through all that I had learned, so I can help lift them up. And that's quite a big switch to see that by serving others, you can really benefit everyone.
Absolutely. So you're here today to share your three uniques with us. So
Absolutely.
how about them? Let's hear them.
My three uniques are commitment, clarity, and courage.
So three C's. So
Three
let's take it up to
C's.
the top. Commitment.
Yeah, commitment for me, and this must be because I'm a little bit stubborn, but once I commit to something, I do it. I do it to the fullest extent possible that I can move forward. I mean, when I said I'd do an Ironman, I did one. My mom had been doing them for years and years, and I had to figure out what all the pain was about. So I signed up, I committed, paid the money, and did it. When I said I was going to write a book, I did it. I didn't know how. I didn't know it was going to take 2.5 years. I didn't know how much money I was going to have to invest to do it, but I did it. But I find a lot of people really don't have that stick to itness to say what they're going to do. But it's really powerful when you do whatever you need to do to hold yourself accountable, pay the money for a course, or start speaking like you're already going to do it. But commitment is a very, very powerful tool.
Awesome. And your second unique.
Clarity.
Okay. Let's hear
Clarity
that.
is one of the most important things that I think a lot of people are missing out on these days, because we all know how bombarded we are with information
Mhm.
and nonsense these days. But by achieving clarity, meditation, being in nature, having sticky notes to get things out of your head, it just frees yourself up to tune in to who you are and what you want to be and what's important to you.
Awesome. And your last one, number three.
Well, courage, yeah, once you get clarity on who you are and
Mhm.
what dreams you have and what job you want to get and what relationship you want to have, and what your dream is, what your vision is. Once you have clarity on that and you're not going to settle for anything less, it takes a lot of courage to become the person that you need to be to live that life. Because for me,
Mhm.
when I started getting clarity on writing a book, speaking on stages, having this sort of relationship, that was a huge gap between where I was at the time. So I had to learn all these additional painful lessons and grow this additional amount to get to that place. And I still have a long way to go. And it is a journey, but it takes a lot of courage to transform.
Awesome. And so when I asked you to come on three uniques, to share your three uniques, what did you think? Like, were these like readily available, just right at your fingertips, or did you have to think about it? And then if so, what was your process to come up with them?
These three C's I've been dancing with for a while, because they essentially are the three parts of the book. In the beginning, I had to get committed to pick myself off this living room floor and get happy again, and
Mhm.
find my happiness again. Because if I didn't make that commitment to myself, the absolute worst thing would be 3 years later if I was still on that floor.
Right.
And to be honest with you, some days I am this year, but I continue to pick myself up, and because nobody was coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save anyone. You've got to save yourself.
Right.
So those, and then again, after that, once I got committed to pick myself up, I had to remove a lot of my old life. I had to throw out a lot of stuff. I had to separate from some friends. I had to do a lot of meditation, just get clear on who the heck I was going to be going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then the courage, the courage I write about towards the third quarter of the book, just when I started putting myself out there, posting content for the first time, and sharing my thoughts, but also having these thoughts at the same time. Like, I know my friends and family are gonna look very differently at this new way that I'm presenting myself, but I couldn't hold back. Like, that's who I was. That's how I had to bring myself forward. But it takes courage to start moving in a new direction.
Awesome. That's amazing. There's some similar points in your journey as to mine. Different, obviously we're different people, but having gone through a divorce in the last couple of years and then making those shifts for myself, and yeah, some people questioning like, hey, this isn't the old Brenda. I'm like, yeah, awesome, welcome, hi, I'm Brenda, like, meet again.
Yeah.
And and being okay with that too, right? Feeling really comfortable with where you're going. So random question, but if I could give you a billboard to put up any message that you want on it anywhere in the world for anyone to see, what would it say on it and where would it be?
It would say, you just absolutely have to believe and have faith in your dreams.
Okay. And where would it be?
Where would the billboard be?
Yeah.
Well, just the biggest space available. I mean, it's the most important thing to just to appreciate that you are the creator of your reality, of your life, of what you want to do going forward. But you have to have the vision of where you want to go. And you have to continue to have faith and believe that it is possible. We can't control how we're going to get to what we want or what we desire. And also know that thing or whatever it may be is not going to be your source of happiness. If you do have to enjoy this wild journey that we are on, we have to find the nuggets of gold within that. But it would definitely say you have to believe in the glory of your dreams.
Awesome. And then my last question for you, because you're a speaker and I know that you speak to different types of audiences, if you were speaking to a group of college or university students about to embark upon their career, what would be the advice that you would give them based off of the journey that you've taken so far? Like one thing that you would tell them to do?
Yeah, I'd just be humble, focus on learning, be patient. So important. Attitude is everything. Just bring great energy into your space every day. What you do today is not going to be what you do for the rest of your life. Really focus on communication, and I'm giving way more than one thing, but but focus on communication and people skills and connecting with others, and be nice, be kind.
Right.
People you're going to move through your career not just on the technical and academic abilities that you have. It's a very important part, but it's a relatively small part. It's a lot of people skills and connecting with others, and you can learn these things. Like first 10 years of my engineering career, I was really caged. I was really angry. I was really sitting and wondering when these big breakthroughs were going to happen for me. But now I've taken it upon myself, like I know where I'm going and these new strengths I have, and I know I can serve the engineers and other communities in different ways. So now I'm actively pursuing those opportunities and adding free value and putting myself out there and being humble when things don't go well. But absolutely, you have to pull in all these different aspects and work on yourself. Because just because you're at a university doesn't mean you just cruise.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael. So for everyone listening, we also have a book giveaway. So we'll have more details when we post the video. So stay tuned and sign up and learn how you can win a copy of Michael's book. So that's super exciting.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, good. So Michael, thanks for joining us today on 3 Uniques. It's been a pleasure hearing about your 3 Uniques today. It's been great also learning a little bit more about your journey and the journey that you're still on, which is amazing. So thanks.
My pleasure. Thanks, Brenda.
And for everybody that's tuning into 3 Uniques today and watching Michael's video, like take some cues away from him. I think, get out there, share your 3 Uniques with the world. I say this always at the end of my interviews. There's 7.5 billion people on this planet. Somebody needs what you've got. Take care, everyone.